out left and right, but then kind of a waste. So
taking the break between working on Feral Planet that you've been working on for 2 years and turning that into, okay, I'm going to take a break from this because quite frankly, I hate this game and I don't want to mess with this anymore.
With Feral Planet, there's so much green. The color green was everywhere. And, it's in more of a beta-ish polished art state. I'll go back and change it, but I swear I've seen so many shades of green this close all the time. So yeah, I kind of want to venture out into some more colors. That's one of the biggest things. We're like, okay, and then I start, you start calculating like, okay, how can I strip some things?
Messing with the same scripts over and over. And
cut screens is just, you're just like, you need a break, and game jams are just perfect for that. And yeah.
Do you participate in any of the online game jams like Global Game Jam or Dare?
No, I like people. I like being around people. I'm a kind of friendly guy, I think. And I feel, because online you get a lot of comments where like, cool, that's nice, or I like what you're doing. Why? But I don't want to read a paragraph either. You just tell me bullet points right there. We don't usually participate in those kind of things.
And it's kind of, a big reason for me too is I don't want to spend like 72 hours doing it. I like the 10-hour little day of, you're there, and then it's like you're stressed for 10 hours getting the game done, and then after that you're like, okay, it's done. People are playing it. I'm good. I don't want to be stressed.
We have a little system with game jams. It was initial idea. We go back and forth, and I'm just like, just do this, and then it's pretty dictatorship like, and he's like, okay, and whatever, and then I'll draw the art. He starts setting stuff up. Just a little light on the workload. I go in crazily, like I don't know. I'm in the thick of it, is what I'm trying to say. And working constantly, freaking out, coffee. And then there's a time where I get all my art assets in. And I'm like, that's when he has to start working. That's when he has to take all of that. Now I can just take it easy. I'll go outside and stuff like that. And, and then I usually freak out if something's not in there. But that's our dynamic with game jams.
What are some unexpected surprises that you found through the course of designing games?
On my aspect, this is probably going back 2 years, is technology. So Unity, just last year, released their whole 2D system into it, so it was always a pain. And doing the first Feral Planet build, before Unity came out, trying to test it on the phone, I worked on iPhone 5, but the iPhone 4s, it couldn't work. So I'm just for me, technology, and then trying to figure out how other people did something to make it work for our game, whether it's how something moves. That's kind of my.
I think with me, it has a lot to do with you, because I think big.
Yeah.
And towards the end of it, I have to scale it down to this for it to work. Well, I'll be vain here. All my ideas would have worked. Of course, that's what no, I'm just kidding. No, so I think, technology is another big thing.
And the limitations of 2 people.
Yeah, we just submitted to Apple, and we were so worried about the file size.
Yeah.
Because it was more than 100 megabytes.
Yeah. We didn't know if it's 160 on your phone, and that's what it was, 160 on your phone.
So much.
And then it's
and the main thing is this is a fast in and out game, fast. And I was like, well, if you can't download it on the spot, then it's worthless.
Over 3G, it's
but
Apple limits the 100 megabytes.
But actually, the file size ended up being 39 something.
Yeah, it ended up being 39 megs, we're just scored.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is a lot of things I wanted to implement, I can now.
Yeah.
More and more each day I can implement more, art assets in without bogging it down. And it's becoming a lot more easier with technology. So that helps, me a lot too, because, I have these huge file sizes because I'm a big nut about vector. I only work in vector. And if I see any aliasing, I just lose it. So it's really nice to have a lot of, as close to vector as I can in a lot of games, because that's the big thing. When we first started out, putting 2D images in a 3D engine, you're gonna get
Yeah.
pixels, and it's gonna be nasty pixels,
Yeah.
jagged things everywhere. But it's nice that it's come a long way to where I don't have to worry about that as much.
Very nice. What's your development process? You go from concept, kind of brainstorm some ideas, and then all the way kind of rough to where you are now to near completed product.
Lately, lately the formula is this: game jam. It works in a game jam. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make the game. And Feral Planet was the exception. That dated back pre any game jam we did. But we've really come to realize that you make a short game. Short games. At first I'm like, okay, you don't have to make a short game. You can do whatever you want. I've only realized with this project, as small as it is, there's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to take a break from this because Feral Planet's gonna be a lot easier to make now. But our process was game jam, kick around some ideas, prototype. Prototype is like the biggest thing to do, and that's the hardest time for me because it's all either blocks, capsules, or just white images in there. And I'm like, I have to have the art in there. So when he's like, well, just put an art asset in there. And I'm like, I can't do that. I have to have it polished. So I'll make it as polished, even though I have no idea what the art's going to look like at the end. I have to make something polished. So once we get the prototype, lately it's been, he just puts the build on my phone, and I'll toy with it for a couple days to a week. We'll just get back ideas, and then from there we'll just start jotting down all the stuff that we could do, all the stuff that we would like to put into the game. So prototyping, then we just go crazy with ideas, and then we meet back. Usually it seems like, and we'll just cut out.
And just figure out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, we'll start implementing a lot of our ideas and what works and doesn't work. We'll just cut it out quickly. We've got to the point where it's kind of almost a well-oiled machine where we actually know what each other is thinking, as weird as that sounds, to where we can just automatically start cutting out a lot of that stuff already. But what will work time-wise, blah, 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 blah. So, and then after that, releasing games is the newest part of this development. We prototypes so many games. We've done all those other stuff I just had so many times over. To where this is the scariest part for us because this is actually when, we actually will have a game out. And I was just talking to Luke, it was 90% of the game was done. And we had 10% left. And we're like, we don't know what to do with that 10%. We've never been here before. So, well, needless to say, we got everything done. But that's kind of how it works, is the game jam. It all starts there for us, I think.
What do you do with some of those extra concept ideas that you come up with?
Filing cabinet.
Yeah, we
That's where we got
this filing cabinet. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. During Feral Planet and Block Monster, especially Block Monster, there's been I'll just go off and start making new games because I'm sick of it. I don't like perspective, and Block Monster was horrible, so I'll go off and make a new game. The file cabinet's getting big, and what's really cool that I don't know if you noticed, you probably noticed this too, but we're starting off with these mobile games, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're just making casual games. Like, yeah, for now, you got to start off somewhere, and we're going to start off mobile there, but our file cabinet's getting bigger. We have, just various types of, even 3D work in the mix later down the road. So, those ideas, we keep them. Especially the game jam ones, and then we add our own in the mix. So it's really nice is knowing that we've gotten better. Because in college we'd come up with this game. We come back to those games, we're like, this is horrible. This is
why did we think of this idea? What was it? What were we thinking?
This is like classic. Me and my friends in the neighborhood, 13 years old. We're gonna do an RPG online, first game, and they start making characters and it looks rubbish, and they're like, it's Probably wasn't a good idea.
That was ours.
So it's nice to have that realization that, okay, we are getting better.
That's awesome. How do you focus on a game, on one project? Because I think that a lot of the time, especially in the video game culture, the video game age, the ADD or ADHD and just very short attention spans. And it's very difficult for people to focus down, especially when they're younger. When they're older, they get a little better at it. Sometimes they don't. Myself is a prime example of that. How do you guys focus on one project?
Up until So Many Monsters, I didn't. I was that kid who I only drew in black outlines, just angsty. Had like those little Easter eggs. We thought those were so cool. We just a lot of the rules that you have to follow. I didn't do that, and because of that, we didn't really. I didn't finish much.
That's why we're getting a game out now.
Yeah, and what's cool about us, because I can list off, you're gonna have duds. You're gonna have a lot of just horrible ideas that you'll realize later on. But we've had a lot of projects we're working on, and it's nice that we have a game done. That's the biggest thing, and yeah. I always get sidetracked. Like I said earlier, you always see green, for Feral Planet, and you just get so bored of it. I think starting small is the biggest thing ever. But what I like is a lot when people hear to start small, they're like, okay, we're going to do an asteroids clone, or we're going to do a Flappy Bird clone. Well, that's fine. I think for a programmer, that's great. Go for it. Make Pac-Man. But I think what a lot of people out there do is they just stick to making asteroid clones or whatever. But you can make your own IP and still be a very small game. And I think So Many Monsters is a big,
We've got a lot of potential with it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I only designed these creatures not because they're cute, because they're circular. I don't have to animate that much. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. And it's still a small game, but yet it still has that air of, it's a real game. It doesn't have to be,
And I think a big thing on my end to help him was like, even just with Feral Planet or this, it's like, he'll draw something and he'll be tired of it, but then I'll throw it in the game, send him a video of it, of like, look, it's working, it's doing this, and he just goes, and gets all excited, and so that kind of helps feed him to keep him on track from what we do now, so. And the hardest part is, for me, is just to is get other people to play it and hear feedback too. To hear him say, it looks great, I like how it plays, because I'm sitting there messing with the controls, say for Feral Planet, to get the float right, or get the fly up right, to get these guys to launch right, and he goes, I like it, it's smooth, it's good, it's better than what it was, and I'm like, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and for us, I think prototyping is the biggest thing. Like, our formula is I'll draw stuff, we'll prototype it, and then we'll lock everything down. The main thing I have to tell people is that you have to know the ending. You know how to start the game and you know how to end the game. You have that down, start weeding out certain mechanics, make sure all your mechanics are just locked in. There is some room for, little changes here and there, but if you have, mechanics, you have a solid prototype, a lot of your art's locked down, that should help you, stay focused. And with this, with So Many Monsters, it really did. I didn't veer off too much. In fact, a lot of it was stripping away, which was a first for us.
Simplifying.
Simplifying a lot of it, because the more grandiose ideas you have, the longer it's going to take. The more you want to, in the past we used to implement certain mechanics, just like, well, let's put this in there. Well, that changes everything. Let's just go back to where we were before. Or it gets too big, we're like, oh, this would be great. And then you're at the point where it's like, you know what? This could actually be a AAA game at this point. We started from a small game, now it could be a AAA game. We have to ditch it. We can't do it without it, start from scratch.
There's two of us, so good luck with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you get to the point where you're ready to test it, what's your guys' testing process?
We actually test in-house
Yeah.
quite a bit before anybody else does. And we have some people who play test for us, which we'll probably have to can later because they're so used to us now that, oh yeah, that's great. No, it's not. No, 'cause I remember when you first play tested your game, you were very critical about it. Now you're not.
Oh yeah, that's
So yeah, we usually test in-house a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we actually, you know, a lot of the other people in our lives, we just hand it to them. You know, like, go play this. You know, tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and I think Feral Planet was the most we've ever play tested,
Yeah.
which was a good and bad thing. We got a lot of mechanics locked down, which is great, but it took a long time to get there, which that probably wasn't the greatest thing to do. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and then just play testing, I mean, with OGDA for Feral Planet, it was good.
Community's great.
And that's what's good to have more people play testing it. Well, for a game for that size, it was good. For like this game, I guess we technically already had it play tested
We already had
at
it
the
play
game
tested.
jam, but then
Concept
just,
work.
yeah, but then it was just play testing it. We just had, just people that we've worked with before, or family members, and we just, hey, test this out. And we go, okay.
Yeah, and it's really cool because you get, you know, there's a spectrum of older to you know, young and 8. You know, I've play tested with, and it's just funny how, you know, what may work for one age doesn't work for another age. You know, and it's, I don't know, it's cool to see. 'Cause
Yeah.
for us, we'll play it nonstop, and with so many monsters, we're just like, you know, constantly just playing, and then you hand it off to somebody a little older, or you know. And it's cool. It's cool to see that I didn't tell anybody this. They suck at it. Well, now you have to watch how they're playing it. Like, why are they sucking at it? And then from there, like, okay, this is awesome. Now I can tweak it, you know, for a tutorial. You know, and then we put a tutorial in there. And then I got people just playing it as I would. I'm just like, that's awesome. That's cool. So I'd say, you know, a lot of people I hear, they just play test with their certain age group. You know, it's that male, you know, I don't know, 14 to 20 something, even to 30 something, and that's it. Like, you have to just get it out there. I don't care how elitist you are, you know, because I think the more meaningful games are the games that most people play. I think you have that you know, that culture with those games. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, what in your mind is the advantage or disadvantage of a AAA title game versus